morning, and thank you for joining me for today's edition of People and Perspectives. I'm Christine Ricci, and joining me today is Frank Jones, Senior Vice President of Courtyard of Honor, Operations Manager of Hershey's Chocolate World, and part of the Veteran Business Group, Timothy Roche, Vice President of Courtyard of Honor, as well as Lieutenant and Assistant Chief of Police with Derry Township and Derry Emergency Management Coordinator, along with U.S. Army veteran, and Doug Jones, Secretary of Courtyard of Honor and President of Faulkner Subaru. So I got the website from the president, Randy, and started researching more. I looked up a couple of old news clips of when it was first announced, and I'm like, this really sounds like an interesting, beneficial project for the community here, which is what the People and Perspectives program is all about. We do it every Sunday on the 5 Cumulus Media Harrisburg stations. It's Wink 104, Hot 106.7, 105.7 The X, 93.5 WTPA, and our CBS Sports radio station. And so I set up the interview with the help of Randy, and we just discussed what the Courtyard of Honor meant for the area, why they came up with the idea, and where it goes from here, including the upcoming bike ride, talking about coffee socials to get more people involved, to learn more, and the planned launch of it so that the community can go see it. So let's talk about Courtyard of Honor. The Courtyard of Honor is still in its infancy, but the plan, when finished, is that it will memorialize citizens of Derry Township who have served in the military during periods of armed conflict, first responders who've guarded our safety and security at home, and to also honor a local pilot and hero who perished in the 9/11 attacks. Can you tell me more about the project and why it's really a must for our area?
Yeah, I'll start off. The original, to go back to the beginning.
I did not know of the Michael Horrock story until learning about the Courtyard of Honor. So I was surprised, honestly, because I would have thought that it would have been mentioned in the news. That was shortly 9/11 happened about a year after I moved to this area. So, I mean, I vividly remember watching it on TV or watching the second plane because I got a call. Somebody's like, a plane just went into the World Trade Tower. And I was in news. I worked actually at Fox 43 at the time. Yeah, never heard of a local person that perished in that incident, especially a pilot. I would have thought it would have made local news, so I was surprised when I just learned about it doing this interview. And obviously the public didn't know it existed anyways, or I probably would have heard about it. But a public memorial because, yeah, I think more people should know that somebody local sadly lost their lives on 9/11 as a pilot, as a veteran. Tim, you're not originally from the Hershey area. You grew up in the Scranton area, but you have a lot of roots, obviously, to the area as a lieutenant and assistant chief of police and the emergency management coordinator. And you also are an Army veteran. So what does this mean to you to see this courtyard expanding in the Hershey area?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, Doug alluded to it before that, Hershey and Derry Township is so synonymous with tourism. And, obviously we have a significant manufacturing, entertainment, and I guess for some respects with the medical center here, healthcare industry. And that's predominantly what we're known for. And I think it's so important that we bring that sense of community into play here because everyone just thinks we're an amusement park and we make chocolate here. But, we have about 27,000 residents. And as my two peers have just said, we had a lot of people that have served our nation. And I just think it's so important that everyone realizes that this is a community. We have people serve. Just don't make chocolate here, and we don't take care of people in the medical center. That we have people that have served our community, and it is so important.
Sometimes I think we all can take a moment and take our lives for granted, and then you see these people who gave the ultimate sacrifice, and then I think it can put things into perspective that you are blessed to be able to enjoy the chocolate and the amusement park and thank these folks. And I'm sure their families also appreciate the fact that you're being able to do this for them, correct?
Each day, as we drive through the town of Hershey, we feel so lucky we live in the township that we do live in and work in, and that didn't just happen one day, So over the years, many people that lived in Derry Township and served the township, whether it was locally or served in the military, that we have to consider that a privilege to be able to not only live in a great country like America, but to live in this township where we have locals that have served this community for many, many years. And some gave the ultimate sacrifice to do that we need to honor those folks and take a moment out of our day. And, once this memorial is built, to stop by and take a moment and think about those individuals that actually served this great country and served this great township, and really thank them, for their service, that we have the township that we have today and the lives that we have today. And that's very important to us.
Doug, do you have anything to add with this?
Yeah, I just think it's important to say, the Courtyard of Honor, we have an executive board, 5 different members. And although we're spearheading the project, I think it's important to note that this memorial is being built by a lot of different people than just these 5 executive board members. So we have a design committee. We have many different veterans. What better way to build a memorial than have the Veterans Memorial be built by veterans, have the First Responder Memorial be built by first responders, have the Horrocks Memorial built by the Horrocks family. So in each one of these different sections of the memorial, we're getting input from veterans from the area. We would like them to help design the memorial. The Horrocks family, Miriam, Mike's widow, and kids are heavily involved in the designing the memorial for the Horrocks Memorial. And the First Responder Memorial, we have the police, fire, EMS putting their input into what they'd like to see in the memorial. So, there's only 5 of us on the committee, but we're just, like I said, we're spearheading it, but we're getting everybody's input on what they want this memorial to look like, because this is their memorial. So we're in that process now of getting them together, having design committee meetings, bringing everyone together, getting everybody's input on what they would like their part of the memorial to look like. And then we vote on it as a committee. But I would tell you, to me, that's so important, because it's not our memorial, it's their memorial. And so far we've had really good input, and we're continuing to get that input, and we're getting closer to putting this whole design together and hopefully breaking ground soon. As Frank said, we're going to build the Veterans Memorial first, and then the First Responder and the Horrocks Memorial after that. So
I was pleasantly surprised at the scope of what it was going to cover, with the 3 different points of trying to do the 9/11 memorial, the fallen soldiers memorial, and the fallen local heroes memorial. And looking at it, it looks like a good place that somebody could go to reflect, learn more about the people who pretty much gave the ultimate sacrifice to be here so that we could be here and enjoy all the things that Hershey has to offer. Especially in this day and age, we've gotten so busy with our own lives that we don't understand what some other families may have gone through, like losing a spouse, a partner, a father, maybe a mother. And just to have this local tribute to them, I think even though it's Hershey oriented, it's a good spot that anybody from the other side of the river or even across the country, if they're coming to Hershey, could check out and just take a moment to reflect.